Hey folks, it's Subsist68 here on Metal Couch, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Megadeth's Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? And this is the remixed and remastered version because the original pressing is very difficult to find. A little bit of background on Peace Sells. Peace Sells was released, I believe, in 1986. It was while their first album, Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, was the album that kind of showed that Dave Mustaine is still making music, Peace Sells, But Who's Buying was the album that kind of made Dave a major player in the thrash movement in the 80s. So, track list that you have on this album, you've got a lot of fan favorites on this album, actually. You have Wake Up Dead, The Conjuring, Peace Sells, Devil's Island, Good Morning Black Friday, Bad Omen, I Ain't Superstitious, and My Last Words. And this also includes 4 previously unreleased tracks, put that in quotation marks, of Wake Up Dead, The Conjuring, Peace Sells, and Good Morning Black Friday. All of them are a different mix. By Randy Burns, it says Randy Burns mix. So they're not exactly unreleased tracks. They're just different mixes of some of the classic tracks on this album. Some big highlight tracks on this album are The Conjuring, Bad Omen, My Last Words. In fact, almost every track on this album is one of it's a great all-around album, a great thrash album. Uh, Probably the only track that I have a gripe with is I Ain't Superstitious, which is a cover. I can't remember who the cover, or I should say who the artist they're covering is. I can look it up here in the booklet for you, hopefully. Um, Black Friday. No, I actually don't think I can find it in here. The only thing it shows is who the original song was written by, and it just says music and lyrics Dixon. So um, I'm not sure who they covered, but I think that's just about irrelevant at this point. So, yes, this is a remixed, remastered version of a classic Megadeth album. Is it better than the original, though? I have listened to the original Peace Sells, and I'm going to say that the remastered is better, mainly because it's better in a lot of places. There are some places where it's not as good, but see, for example, of the remastering when it's not good. The opening to the classic track Peace Sells But Who's Buying? That famous bass line that David Ellefson came up with. Everybody who's a Megadeth fan knows exactly what I'm talking about. I think they kind of butchered it with the remastered version. They made it sound weird, almost to the point where it's not a bass, and you can hear the bass drum just the kick drum is ridiculous about how loud, and it sounds like instead of the kick drum hitting bass drum or whatever, uh, it sounds like somebody's taking those two like wooden blocks that you sometimes see and they're knocking them together. Instead of like going, you hear this. It's really annoying, but anyway, uh, The Conjuring is one of my favorites off the album, along with My Last Words and Devil's Island. Devil's Island is I don't think they've played Devil's Island for quite some time, but it would not be nice to see them play that again. The reason why I'm doing this review is because there have been some rumors floating around the internet lately that they recently got off with the Rust in Peace 20th anniversary tour. That happened a little bit late last year, around October, November, I think. Um, but there is a rumor going around that near the end of this year, Mustaine and company are going to be going out on a very small U.S. tour where they play Peace Sells in its entirety. And I know what you Megadeth fans are thinking. But Mustaine won't play those songs anymore because there's satanic stuff, and he's a Christian now. That's not gonna stop him. He still plays a lot of stuff in his live set that is very, I wouldn't exactly say in line with Christian values. So I think that the remastering of this album was almost necessary, along with Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good, because listening to the original ones, they didn't have much of a budget, mainly because they spent all of their budget on drugs. And I think halfway through the production of Peace Sells, they had to switch producers because they got signed on to Capitol Records after going from Combat Records. So it's or I should say that Combat got bought out by Capitol, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, uh, this is a great album. It is a must listen for any metal fan. Is it better than Rust in Peace? That can be debated. I could probably save that for another video, but that probably won't happen anytime soon. Uh, I give Peace Sells But Who's Buying a 9 out of 10. It's a great album. I recommend any metal fan picking this up and checking it out. This is Subsist 68 here on Metal Couch, signing off.